double coverage.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. We hope you're still living, loving, and breathing sports. I'm Dom with the Great Man Sauce, and I am pumped, and I know you are too, mate.
We love Wednesdays, Doma.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
It is. And massive news in the hobby, obviously, which is going to lead Hobby Talk, and it's been a huge day. In a few groups on IG, DMs, and just let me just say, absolutely blowing up. Anyone out there, if you haven't seen, BGS, Beckett Grading Services, are shutting down a la their competitor PSA, and they are going to piss off a hell of a lot of people. Let's just say that. We'll get more into it later on, Doma, and we'll get more into it later on in Hobby Talk. Anyone who's not familiar with the show, second hour, we'll talk about Hobby Talk and things to do within the hobby.
It won't be second hour today.
It probably won't be second hour because there's not too much sports to run down. So, looks like we'll be getting through that stuff quickly, and then, we're onto the juicy stuff.
All right, let's get straight into it.
How about yourself, mate? How you been? Good.
Yeah, I'm good. I can't believe that my grading company that is like in the top 5 somewhere, because they're not the big 2. I don't care what anyone says. I did call and say that they wouldn't be number 2 by the end of the year, and it's just cruising and chugging along nicely. I will read the statement a bit later on. It's going to be very interesting. It's very juicy. Then our other mates over down at eBay, they've got some news that have come out as well today. Wednesdays is great. I just love Wednesday. All right. When we do pods on a Tuesday, all the crap comes out the next day and it pisses us off. But we've got everything. Basketball, we got the basketball's just humming along nicely. I'm going to get into you tonight about the Lakers. I can't wait for that. Mate, so much has happened. We've had Lockdown Lounge, our new series, air while we've been in lockdown here in Victoria. And guess what, ladies and gents? The lockdown's been extended for another week. So we're going to give you another week's worth of content. We were going to run through some Shaq cards through an article on Cardboard Connection, but that's going to be probably pushed and used in a lockdown lounge.
Yeah, we'll push it to a lockdown lounge, mate. It's a good one. We can definitely run that one. Maybe we'll run that one through the yard and be able to share the screen and show the article and go through it, which would be interesting. But definitely. What are we leading with?
We'll start with the AFL source. We will start with the AFL, and we'll go to round 11. Bye rounds will start this week, but round 11, Dogs versus Melbourne, top of the table clash. Dogs got done by 28 points.
You did call it, Doma, and I will give you credit. A credit where credit is due. They looked sluggish. They didn't look like they were moving the ball as slick. They were making mistakes. Credit to also Melbourne for putting on the great pressure, which, forced them into those mistakes. But they did look a little bit sluggish, Doma. And look, they didn't help themselves, kicking 11 behinds on the scoreboard. But what can you say? The D's are well and truly a flag contender. I'm happy to concede that. After they're one game off. Yes, we know, Doma.
No, they're half a game off, Sauce. Half a game. All they need to do now is just draw, and it's done.
We're still alive.
It's my fault. It's my fault in the end.
We're still alive. All right.
They are humming along nicely. Next up, we had one of the worst games of the round. Collingwood versus Geelong, 51-61. It was just poo.
I didn't watch a minute of it, but I did ask my brother and when I asked him, he goes, I had to turn it off at halftime. After halftime, midway through the third quarter, he turned it off because it was such a bad game. He switched games, so he just couldn't watch it. He switched over to the Brisbane GWS, which wasn't much better.
It was stinky. That was 129-65, that game. The Lions got the win. They're looking pretty good. They're humming along nicely, the Lions. Not much in that game. GWS probably, that's the story, bit disappointing. honestly, after the last few weeks, how they've been playing. It's just a disappointing performance. Next up, we have my mob against St Kilda, which was another putrid game. We ended up losing by 20 points. The Saints are terrible. I said it last week. I said it the week
Did
before.
you watch the game, Dom?
Yeah, it was terrible.
I'm saying you can understand what I'm saying because I've watched a few games of the Saints. Don't worry about North. We know you're trash. You're rebuilding, right?
That's right.
But
the Saints are rebuilding.
Even us, the Dons, we were able to belt you. You know what I mean? And then the Saints come out there. The Saints come out there and they were struggling. You were in the game. You were actually in the game.
How are you keeping us in the game?
But they didn't put you to bed. Yeah, look, but I don't know. Where to for the Saint Kilda Football Club, the club that it has the longest standing premiership drought.
I said it last week, Sauce. The GM of football said they're in the premiership window next year. So Saint supporters, G up, get ready, because the flag's coming your way in 2022, apparently, when you're looking probably on par with us. And based off your off-season, you should have more talent in your team than us. And you're only beating us by 20 points. And on top of that, we've got 6 of our key guys out. So you take that as you will, St Kilda fans. You take that as you will. Quite disappointing. Next up, Gold Coast versus Hawthorn. Gold Coast were good in this game. They smashed them 113-76. Not much in it. But the next game, I'm actually excited. I hate the Bombers with a passion. I hate you, Sauce. I hate your team. I can't stand them. But I don't know what it is. There's this little thing inside of me. These young fellas playing a good brand of football. It's slowly turning me. I sat down and I watched 4 quarters of Essendon football. 4 quarters. I couldn't turn the TV off. Mate, you're playing great footy. You overran the Weagles over in Perth by 16 points. A bloody good win.
What I seen is it's promising sides, Dom. It's promising signs. The next step for this team is to keep building, is to be able to get consistency, and show this week after week, and just bring the effort, because there was, the game against Fremantle, we struggled at moving the ball. We didn't move the ball as good as we did against West Coast on the weekend, and it was just our effort and our will that ended up getting us the win, and we were persistent. This one on against West Coast, it impressed me because, we went down 29 points in the second quarter. Potentially could have packed it up, but we, got in there at the halftime break, and we kicked a few back before the halftime break, and I think we only went in 16 points down. So after we were down by nearly 6 goals, Doma, or 5 goals, sorry.
But fight, mate. You got some fight.
It was good to see how we fought back, and in the last quarter, I tell you what, there were some moments there by Jones, young Jones, in the forward line. His composure to not blaze away. I'm seeing players like David Zaharakis. You're a senior player, blazing away and not having the presence of mind to lower the eyes or look to hit the target. And then you got guys like Archie Perkins, who's calm as you like. He's able to shrug tackles. I'll tell you what, once that bloke puts a bit more muscle size up in his shoulders and puts a bit more size on, he's going to be he's hard to tackle already. He shrugs tackles very well, and he gets the hands free. So, which is, it's a talent in itself. And once he's able to put some more size on, he'll be able to, shrug those even better. But, enough talking about Essendon. We were very good. I was impressed with the win. It's now just about bringing the consistency. We've shown we've won 3 in a row, Doma. So, going pretty well.
Old Jake the Snake turned it back. Jake the Snake Stringer, he was good. You win this week as well. When I tell you who you're playing, you win this week.
There's one person that needed to be better on.
Oh no.
What was it? Saturday night?
Who was it? The Red
Saturday afternoon. It was the bloke that you pulled the big card, Nick Natanui. he got beat a few crucial times, although he was very good. Yeah, there he is. Kraft gold card, 24K carrot come Dommer's way. He got beat at crucial times.
He did get
there was
beat.
a point there where he got pushed out of the ruck by Hooker, and he kicked it on and got Stringer. We marked it and kicked that crucial goal late in the last. And there was another moment there where he got out ruck worked, and it led to a goal. There was a few moments there where Nick Natanui, unfortunately, he just wasn't up to it. And look, I don't know why, but I feel like we got the best of him, or we just we did the old Richmond trick. We had Langford in the ruck for a while, and we just were having another midfielder around the stoppages. And when, say, if we were able to win the stoppage out the back or whatever, and Langford would push forward, you've seen how that came into play later in the game. He was able to get on the end of a few couple. So it was look, Rutten very impressed at the moment, and it's obviously clear that the double tandem job last year was just a distraction for the main guy, which is Ruts, and he's got us playing very good football. We're leading the league in tackles or something like that. It's all signs are looking good, but consistency is what is next.
Very nice. Richmond v Adelaide was next, 111-83. Richmond just blew them away in the last quarter. Callum Jones.
Adam's got a halftime peptides for the Dons. Yeah, that's all right. We'll take that.
Yeah.
But long time ago.
Hey, they're bouncing back from it now, but the Tigers were too good. Beat Adelaide,
right,
got the job done.
They all got their COVID shot. That's like a peptide.
Yeah, technically. Port Adelaide v Freo, that was a demolition. Flat track bullies. Played Fremantle in Adelaide and just beat them, so no surprise there. And the last game, we've got to give a shout out to them again, Sauce. All right. Sydney versus Carlton. Now, you already know the result if you listen to the podcast. Sydney were good. So they obviously, based on what I've just said there, they won the game. I'm not even going to say commiserations, actually. I feel sorry. Blue abroad, I feel, and everyone that goes on that show, I feel so sorry for you right now. As a football lover watching a Carlton supporter, mate, you can see the anguish in the eyes and the demeanor of these supporters. They just beaten Sauce. It's like you're flogging a dead horse now. Like they've got no energy anymore. They can't defend their club anymore. It's like they've got to the point where they're like, we can't even support our club anymore to like put all that energy into them. They're just tired. They're tired. I said it like a month ago, mate. The slogan when they said, oh, we're coming. We're still waiting. The whole AFL, every team is still waiting. The Blues are a shambles, Sauce. They're a shambles.
They are a shambles. And boy, oh boy. I mean, they did beat us, the Dons, but, it's one of those games where any team can get up. It doesn't matter where they are on the ladder or what position they're in. But, geez, they bought players in, Doma. They bought players. They bought in Zach Williams. Sard.
Jack Martin last year.
There you go, Jack Martin. They've been continually adding guys that they believe are more talented. And what they're getting back in return from those guys that they believe are talented maybe it's either one of two things. It's the coaching is not up to scratch, that it's getting the most out of the talent that they have available, that they believe that their list is good enough. Because, I listen to Carlton supporters and they believe that they've got enough talent on that list to be a good football club.
On paper, they look good, mate. They've got Harry Mackay, who's probably one of the best forwards in the comp. And then they've got Wiedering, who's the...
Quick mention about that. These clubs out there that refuse to take assistance from previous greats of the game, right, to go help some of these guys who can't kick for goal. Harry Mackay, he can't kick for goal. What did he kick on the weekend? Harry
Mackay. Are you thinking about Harry Mackay or Levi Casbolt? What are you talking about? Harry Mackay's been killing it.
Harry Mackay kicked 3 goals, 5.
Oh, okay. He's like second in the Coleman, isn't he? Or third?
Yeah, I understand, but he still kicks him around the corner. These guys can't kick a drop punt. Right?
I haven't heard this story, so I don't know where you're going with this.
Brendan Favola offered to come down there and try to give.
The
Fev was a very
Fevolution.
good set shot. You can't say that he wasn't.
One of my man. He's probably my
Right.
top 3 favorite players ever as well. The Fevolution.
And same goes for back when Matthew Lloyd offered to come down and help Joe Danaher when he was at Essendon, right? And they refused the club. I don't understand. Matthew Lloyd's is the best set shot to ever play in the game, other than him, Dunstall, and Plugger, probably the best three, right?
Probably fair call.
And these clubs, it just doesn't make sense to me why they wouldn't want to get help from people who have been there and done it.
Mate, the Fevolution's coming to help you, and I don't know what you're doing by declining it. Like, this is the Fevolution we're talking about. Like, anyway, let's get on to next. They're shambles. Anyway, let's get on to next week's games. What's going on?
Feel sorry for the lads down there at Blue Ball. Let me.
Yeah, I do feel sorry. I genuinely do. Melbourne, Brisbane. Who have you got?
We're going to go with the D's.
That's over there. Sorry.
It's
no
it's not here.
I
It's
think.
no games here at all. I think so. I'm going to back in the D's. Come on, show me what you're made of.
I'm going for it to break the 10.5 wins to get to 11. We're going the D's.
Yeah.
Oh, this is just the bye, isn't it? Sydney versus St Kilda, but no one else like St Kilda will play well this week. But I'm tipping Sydney.
Yeah, I'm going to go Sydney too.
I hope Buddy plays and he kicks 10 against them because they are shit. Adelaide versus Collingwood. In Adelaide.
I'm going to go Adelaide. It's in Adelaide. Big home crowd. I reckon they can get the job done. Definitely. Pies are struggling.
Carlton versus West Coast. No, Tim Kelly got injured.
This is Tim Kelly injured.
Yeah,
Elliot Yeo back, so he'll have another one under the leg, so he'll be able to run out the game a bit
West
more.
Coast at home. West Coast
I think I'm going to have to go West Coast. Yeah, they just got too much talent. I can't see their back line stopping those two. Yeah, although Essendon did it, but I don't know.
Freo Dogs.
I'm going to go Dogs. Bounce back.
Dogs. And the blockbuster. The Dons versus the Tigers.
4 in a row. I'm back in the Dons. Come on. I'm on the Don train. Hey, we just played at that ground. We had a massive win over West Coast, which, arguably is a harder feat to do, to travel over to the West and beat West Coast. We're going back to back at Optus Stadium. Let's go.
Typical Essendon supporter. Back in his team. Anyway, I'm going with the Bombers as well, Sauce. I'm tipping the Bombers as well.
Let's go!
I genuinely reckon Richmond, they're struggling. I know they got some of their guys back. They'll be good once Lambert and Presty get a few more games in them. They'll get rolling. But you'll beat them this week. Because as you know, I've said it 1,000 times. I like seeing when Richmond are hard done by in this league. Because I just want them to come out at the end and shut everyone up. They'll win the flag. But you'll win this week and you'll boot them out of the 8. You'll put them back in their famous position in 9th on the ladder after this week.
Do I dare, if we win this week, do I dare to dream, Doma? Do I dare to dream?
Dare to dream what? Making finals?
Making finals.
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah, I wouldn't. Honestly, I reckon. The
lid is not off. The lid is not off.
No,
the lid is not. The lid is shut, sealed. For me, it's shut, sealed. But I'm going to say if we win this week, depending on how we, if we go out there and we win by 3 or 4 goals, after I think we've lost to Richmond the last 6-7 games in a row.
We won't hear the end of it. We won't hear the end of it next week.
I might
get out of it.
Just
let out some air.
A little bit.
Air in the jar. Bit of pressure. All right. The buys are GWS, Geelong, Gold Coast, Port, Hawthorn, and my boys who they need it. The ladder is D's on top, a game clear, Dogs second, Lions third, Cats fourth, Port fifth, Swans sixth, Eagles seventh, Richmond eighth, Essendon ninth, GWS 10th, Fremantle 11th, St Kilda somehow won 5 games in 12th, Carlton 13th, Suns 14th, Adelaide 15th, Collingwood 16th, Hawthorn 17th, and my boys are dead last. All right, so let's move on. Just a quick update on soccer, Champions League, Europa League, any league. We're covering it on crunch time this week. So I'm not going to bore you with soccer talk for this week. We'll get the experts in Anthony Collects and Mars Sports Card to give a nice rundown. And obviously, if you are familiar with crunch time, you know that Lukey is on cloud 9 at the moment.
That's right. If anyone hasn't seen the clip, go over to masked_sports cards, masked MASKD_sports cards, and check out the reel he posted of us on crunch time, giving out predictions. And Lukey obviously backed his team in to take it all the way, as you should, as your team's still in the competition.
Yeah,
and we pretty much laughed at him, and he's having the last laugh right now. So congratulations to Chelsea and obviously Mast, and shout out Splash for their teams
definitely
getting the win. They've won 2 in 10 years, Doma. That's pretty damn good.
It's pretty good. It is. They potentially, if John Terry didn't slip, no, I'm not making a joke. If he didn't slip on the penalty, they'd have 3. They would have beaten us in 08. So pretty bloody good. They're a great Champions League side. So well done to Chelsea supporters and congratulations. Next up, F1 Azerbaijan Gp is this weekend. So follow your local guides, and hopefully we can see Maxi, Super Max do some work.
Hey, he's got some speed. I don't think it's going to be as easy as people think. Maybe not as easy as last year, Doma.
Hamilton said there'll be a bit of pain in the next few races as they're
trying to tune up that car, hey?
No, it's a bit like the tracks. It's a bit difficult for the Mercedes. It's not a favourable few upcoming races for them. But
okay.
In saying that, it is Lewis Hamilton, and he's the guy that on lap 2 always complains, "Oh, my tyres are balding," but he still gets an extra 50 laps out of him. And he just talks shit because people can hear the radio, mate. He just talks rubbish to try and throw people off. He's just tactics, mate. He's a tactician.
He's good. He's good, mate. There's a bit more. There's a bit more to just being able to drive. Then you know what I mean. They use the radios. They because it's all connected to the network, so they know when they 100%. Talk on the radios. So bit of a little tactic. Just people out there if you're not familiar with the F1, don't always believe what the drivers are saying over the radio. Sometimes it's a bit of smoke and mirrors, as they like to say.
100%. It's playing the game. It's a mental game in the end of the day, as well as a physical. Let's move on. Joel, how you going? He's in the chats. How you going, buddy? UFC up next, Sauce.
UFC Fight Night, Rojo Ziku versus Sakai.
He come with pronunciations.
Mate, I'll tell you what, there's some absolute stumpers here this week. Main card, obviously Sunday, the 6th of June, 9 a.m. The main card kicks off. Have no idea where the hell this event is, but, probably somewhere in the States with a packed stands. They're getting more daily cases than us, Doma, but their stands are packed.
Let's not talk about it.
Look, that's all right. That's for another podcast on another channel, not this one, right? We've got the middleweight division, Tom Breeze against Antonio Arroyo, and another middleweight bout, Dusko Todorovic versus Gregory Rodriguez. Welterweight division, Santiago Ponzinibbio against Miguel Baeza. Middleweight division, Roman Dolidze against Lariano Staropoli. I don't know if he's Italian. Staropoli sounds a bit Italian. Heavyweight division, you got Walt Harris against Marcin Tybura. And then the main event, heavyweight, Jorinzo Rojo Ziku versus Augusto Sakai. Good fight, that. Rojo Ziku has been on an absolute tear since he got knocked out by Francis Ngannou in the first 20 seconds of the fight. That was his one and only loss in the UFC. Since then, he's won 3 in a row. And he's looking good. So, that will be a good fight. And Doma, there's one thing that also needs to be noted, if anyone noticed. The main event and the co-main event are both heavyweight, Doma.
Yeah, that's your favorite
heavyweight.
Thing. And since we're in UFC, since we're in UFC, let's give a bloody shout, like a great shout out to Tyson Beck, who dropped to us at the Hobby Hangout live stream
Yes.
that he's going to potentially be doing a collaboration with Conor McGregor.
Well, he said he is. He is, and it's going to be at his next fight. They're gonna be doing some sort of NFT drop together. Or who knows what it entails? But they're working and
The
collaborating, which
billionaire
is
walk, mate.
it's got
Come in.
interesting. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be cool, pretty cool. Hey, I tell you what, they need to get. That's what you need to get on the VV collectibles, mate. The McGregor and the augmented reality, the walk.
Or him saying 60 G's, baby. That's my favorite. Or he should have a
Who
card.
the fuck is that guy?
It should literally say, his card should be Tyson. If you listen to this, it should say, have his card, and it just and the script on there is, I'd like to thank absolutely no one because the double champ does whatever the fuck he wants. That's what it should say on the card. My favorite Conor McGregor.
He's got
quote
some good
of all
quotes. He's
time.
definitely got some
Yeah.
good quotes, and
He's
that's
great.
why he's obviously gets the hobby love because he's a very memorable person. All right, moving on,
All
Dom.
right,
What are we
moving
going on to?
Last sporting segment before we get into some real hobby talk. Obviously, the Le Mans of the week as well, which is, come on, you'd be living under the rock today if you didn't know who's getting that.
Yeah.
But NBA source, we're going to start with Brooklyn versus Boston. 4-1 win. It's all done and dusted. Well, it was no surprise, to be honest. Obviously, few injuries in that team. No Kemba, no Jaylen Brown. We discussed this a bit on Lockdown Lounge, but KD, 24 points. Just went through it. James Harden, triple-double, 34-point triple-double.
Like,
Kyrie,
look,
25.
there's one thing, about this. I think Tatum had one bang game in the whole series. He was very, very good. Obviously put up 50. So positive for Celtics fans. He's still young. I genuinely think that Celtics franchise does not have the right mix to contend and win titles in the next 2-3 years. I just don't see it. Like Jaylen Brown's obviously a big miss, but even with Jaylen Brown, I still think having Kemba as your second guy is just as your third guy is not good enough. He's too unreliable. He's very injury prone.
Honestly, Sauce, he's gone.
Yeah.
He won't be there next season. He's going to get traded. As simple as that. They have to get rid of him, and they have to get just a role player, another guy that can, like a very good one, that can be a 3. Kemba Walker's too injury prone. And a shout out, we're not going to really touch on Brooklyn because they breezed through them. They were good.
They were good. We expected that. I think I said 4-1, and I've called the scoreline. So
you did say 4-1. But the interesting thing, as we did say, is Brooklyn battled against this team at stages that were not at full defensive capability. So when they come up against a top 5 defensive team in the league in the next round in the Bucks, this is the matchup. The next few rounds in the East, because the winner of this plays either Philly or who's the other team? I've gone blank. Jeepers. Philly or Atlanta. You think Philly would get through, but you know what? If Embiid doesn't play that series and he's injured, Atlanta's going through, mate. They're going through the Eastern Conference Finals. The way they've been playing is very good.
Yeah.
But enough on that. We're talking about this game. But they gave him trouble. Big props to one man, all right? Jabari Parker. Last few games, he's been very, very good. Good, solid guy off the bench. I really do feel sorry for Jabari Parker. As you know, we don't talk about politics on this show, but he got a bit blacklisted by a few clubs because of his faith. He's a Jehovah's Witness. Anyone out there that didn't know Jabari Parker. And he copped a bit of flack because of the way he practices his religion and stuff. And he kind of got blacklisted by a few clubs, which is not right, clearly. But he was always a solid player in Chicago. Before that, he was in Milwaukee. He's obviously had his troubles with injuries. But if he can stay healthy, he's a guy that can be handy. He can shoot the ball, and he can score. He can get you boards. That's what you want for a guy that's a role player coming off the bench. So, shout out to him. Shout out to him. All right, moving on. Next game. You just want to know which one I'm going to say. It's going to be Portland versus the Nuggets. The series has swung 3-2 in favor of the Denver Nuggets. Double OT it went to today. Dame Dollar, 71% from the field, 71% from three source, most threes in a playoff game with 12, had 55 points, and the team couldn't get it done. They lost by 7 to the Nuggets. Big output in this game, clearly. Double OT. Big output.
How the hell does your best player have 55 points and you don't win, Doma?
Maybe
How?
because Jokic had 38, Michael Porter Jr. had 26, and Monte Morris had 28 points in 41
look at that. Michael
minutes.
Porter Jr., 10 of 13, 3 of 5 from 3.
12 boards.
12 boards, which is what I like to see. 2 steals, and that's...
Goldberg said that he was going to be the next Durantula.
Look, I did hear that, and
he's pushing my buttons. You're lucky that BGS stuffed up today, mate. I'm telling you that much for free. You're starting to push me, Andrew. You're pushing me. All right, you're really pushing me.
You're lucky BGS stuffed up.
You're so lucky BGS stuffed up. Oh, I'll tell you
because
what.
There would have been a bit of lining up happening.
I tell you what, you almost forced my hand this week. But Michael Porter Jr. is a great player. What is it, third year in the league? He's starting to shape up nicely. But as we keep saying, these are the types of guys that flourish because a superstar's not there. When Jamal Murray's back, he's not. Well, he could play this well, and he could be a 3 in this Denver team. But, yeah, you got to remember that Jamal Murray's not playing.
Yeah.
And quick shout-out to Austin Rivers as well. He's been killing it.
Yeah, he has. He's been very, very good. Austin Rivers, great pickup. Great pickup.
How did my boy Melo go today? 8 points. He shot 3 of 11. Not great.
2 of 9 from 3, which is not
great. Not great at all. All right. Enough on that. That's a great series, though. But the one that we want to talk about, with their measly 34.5% field goal percentage today, 17 turnovers, outplayed 29-14 on the assist count. Yeah, rebounded them, which was all right. The Los Angeles Lakers look like a shadow of themselves. Someone messaged me today and said it's no Davis, no Lakers. I almost laughed. I genuinely almost laughed when someone sent me that. But if you just look at the field goals, Dennis Schroeder, 0 of 9. Caldwell Pope took 1 shot. Morris took 2 shots. Drummond was 2 of 5. Kuzma was 6 of 13. Horton Tucker, 4 of 9. McLemore, 0 of 5. Caruso, 2 of 8. Oh, Trezor played a bit today, which is all right. Alfonso McKinney even played. He shot 0, but that was junk time. Doesn't count. Source. Talk to me. Booker had 18 in the first quarter, and Bridges had, I think, 10 in the first quarter, and they just dominated.
You got to look, 2 things. You got to play better defense, first of all. When you're missing one of your better guys, you got to just be able to tough it out. But at the end of the day, you got to be able to hit shots. There was a point there we didn't score for 8 minutes in that second quarter. 8 minutes. We went scoreless.
32-10 in that quarter.
We went scoreless for 8 minutes. An 8-minute stretch where you did not put the ball in the basket. You do that in any game of basketball, you are at some point going to find yourself down at a very, very big scoreline. And without your second best player, in my opinion, on the team there, it's going to be hard to bring that back. We've done that to ourselves last game. Obviously, once AD was still there, then he went injured. We've got to stop giving away the big leads in the second quarter. Second game in a row, we've done this, and we obviously haven't been able to claw that back. You got to be better from the start. We came out, Doma, and I think we were leading 10-2, right? Obviously, we know it's a game of runs, NBA, but to come out and be matching with them in the first quarter and then just fall away completely in the second quarter, It's unexcusable.
Yeah, you were
And
with them. Like Booker was dominating, so was Bridges, but you were only down by 8 at the quarter time.
yeah, we were with them, right?
You lost. Yeah, you lost the first quarter by 8, the last quarter by 1. You won the third quarter, and then the second quarter was where the game was won and lost.
Yeah,
You got
and that's the
outscored by
second game in a
22.
row that we've done that.
Yeah.
So we got to be better. People are going to probably
Write him
say
off. They're going to write him
it's
off.
done.
It's over.
It's
It's
done.
good.
But I'm not going to write him off because we've
like
seen it
writing him
before.
Keep writing him off.
And he's going to come out and come swinging. And, you have a look at his stat line today, Doma. He was 6 of 10 from 3. He shot 60% from 3.
Mate, he was just jacking them up. Literally, he was just jacking them up. And they were falling.
When other guys on your team go 0 of 5, 2 of 8,
0 of 9.
Schroeder 0 of 9, how do you expect to win games of basketball when a starter on the team who played 26 minutes scored 0 points?
You did this, Sauce, in the first game against Portland in the bubble last year when you went down 1-0 and you shot this bad and everyone said the series was finished. Now, I know it's win or go home the next game. There's a lot more on the line than losing game 1. But I'm not convinced. Till the final buzzer sounds, I'm not convinced that the Lakers are dead and LeBron's out. I just can't. I can't come out here and say it's finished. It doesn't look good. It's not looking promising if the AD can't get back on the court. But
he didn't look good pre-game, did he?
Chris Paul's hurt now. Chris Paul's hurt. He went off with tears in this game. He's injured. So...
Oh, did he get injured, Doma? There we go. Some news.
Wes Matthews went in for an offensive board and checked him on the shoulder by accident. He's trying to box him out. A bit of physicality. He dropped to the floor and he was in excruciating pain, Chris Paul. They gave the foul off review. He went to the line. At the line, he had tears in his eyes, mate. He was in that much discomfort. I don't know if he's re-aggravated the nerve in his neck or what's happened, but he was in a lot of discomfort. He took the 2 free throws and he nailed them, mate. He's a monster, Chris Paul. Everyone knows we love him on this show. But as soon as he hit those 2 free throws, they didn't play with him for the rest of the game. That was halfway through the third.
Yeah.
And he went into the rooms, then he came back out in the last quarter and he sat on the bench and supported the team, did his part. But, mate, he had tears in his eyes.
So
he was in that much discomfort.
So
this is
at the end of the day for the Lakers, we got to be better. You can't shoot like that. You are still an NBA basketball player. You got to go out there and be better. On the defensive side of the ball, we were decent. But when you can't put the ball in the net, you're always going to struggle to win. So, look, got to be better. I did put a little sneaky $1.50 bet on LeBron James to score 50 plus today. I mean, he was halfway there. Just unfortunate. He might literally have to put up 70 for us to win next game. Look, if we play like that,
he's going to have to shoot
literally has to put up 70.
He's going to have to do a Wilt to Stilt and score 100, mate. I'm telling you that much. And honestly, we're not going to end this without saying props to Phoenix.
Yes,
they played really well.
Played well.
So
played very
good
well.
on them. Well done.
Very
all right.
well.
Moving on. We smashed it out in under 40 minutes. And now, Sauce, we come to a segment that is much beloved by our fellow listeners. And I'm going to let you set the scene for Le Mans of the Week before I probably tee off on these clowns. So Hobby Talk starting right now, ladies and gents. Sauce, give us a nice intro into this.
All right, Doma.
He's shocked.
The alarm goes off this morning. I'll run it for people how it went. The alarm goes off this morning. Hit the snooze. Second one goes off. All right, time to get up. Get up. Do the usual. Wash my face. Get dressed. Brush the teeth. Make a coffee. And I pull out the old device out of the pocket.
One of 6 that he has.
one of the 6 that I got. And I see a message from Azuro_cards. Yeah, a DM in a group chat. And I clicked on the DM, and it's was BGS. You know, the headline was BGS shutting services starting something like that date. I said, "Oh, what's going on here?" So obviously I click in, and I believe what I see. I'm not going to say I can't believe what I've seen. I believe what I've seen because it's probably needed, because I'm one of the people that's sent cards to this company, BGS, Becker Grading Services, and I waited 12 months to get my cards back. And I'm glad that I got them back, and I'm glad I haven't sent any more subs there, because if I did send any more, unfortunately for people out there who sent any subs recently that haven't been checked in, and what I believe that there's, your cards, unless you pay for one of the Super Express services, you pay for the economy service, I believe your cards don't get checked in for nearly like 3 months, 4 months. You don't really know, because they don't really have a proper way to tell you if your cards are being checked in or not. You just, for us here in Australia, we just, if you grade them through Cherry, our mates down at Cherry, they sort of just keep you updated. You don't really know anything, all right? You just sort of ask them, the Dale and the crew down there, and they let you know. But people will be getting back their cards that they've sent there. How they've handled this, Doma, is an abomination. First of all, how they've handled their whole marketing over the last 12 months, and how their slabs are literally losing steam in the market to the point where people are cracking them out and sending it to other companies, even other companies being literally HGA people have done. So it was, let me say, one of the most interesting drives to work, because I drove about 35, 40 minutes to work, and the phone was just going off. Messages. By the time I'd stopped at work at the other end and checked my phone, I had about 50 messages in this group chat, and it was going off, and it was just an absolute beat down on Beckett Grading Services, and rightfully so, Doma. Rightfully so. Many people out there are going to be so pissed off. This is just, the way that they've gone about this is completely and utterly ridiculous. Ridiculous.
So, before you go ahead and give it to him, I did the due diligence to go find, thanks to, I'm pretty sure, Car Porn had it on there in their bio, I'm pretty sure. But I went and found the full statement. Now, that little part is a little excerpt on three pages of text. I'm going to read you the statement source, and I'm going to make you more upset than before I read you the statement. I read this, and I pissed myself in disbelief. I was just laughing, like, the audacity of these Muppets, like, have no idea. So, I'll start. Dear Beckett customers and collectors who we do not give a shit about. Sorry. I hope this letter finds you well as the world tries to get back to pre-COVID days. Beckett has intentionally been quiet over the last few months. You reckon? That is not because we've had nothing to say or no reason to be proud. That begs differ. We could have been bragging about keeping our services fully open to the public without a price increase. But you shut it because you're fucked, you morons. We should have been boastful about the increasing number of employers we have hired from around the country. Kudos. Well done. You probably should have boasted about that. Give a bit of hope to people that use your product. We could have shown videos of our massive growth in facilities and operations. Verbatim on what I just said. Perhaps we should have commented on the numerous new companies that have popped up trying to imitate Becker Grading Services. But instead, we kept our heads down and continued to grade with accuracy and integrity that the industry expects and has come to know for us. I'm going to repeat that one more time for your source. All right? Just all the shit that we've said about Beckett in the last 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. Yeah. I'm going to read that one piece of passage back to you. Perhaps we should have commented on the numerous new companies that have popped up trying to imitate Beckett grading services. But instead, we kept our heads down and continued to grade cards with accuracy and the integrity that the industry expects and has come to know of us. You taking the piss, yeah? Anyway, it keeps going. It keeps going. Don't worry. Let's address the question that everyone has been asking. Is the National going ahead? I'll get to the National in Hobby Talk a bit after this. So, yeah, Beckett Shield, use our products, blah, 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 blah. There's nothing in here, really. With the announcement, Beckett will begin prepping for the show by making a few changes to our grading service. Our plan is to make these changes temporary as we prepare for the National and focus on the cards that we've had in our vaults for way too long. We've kept our heads down, Source, and continued to grade cards with accuracy and integrity. But then you said that our vault, we're focusing on the cards we've had in our vaults for too long. So you obviously haven't been doing.
If you've been grading and not caring about, your marketing, which you clearly haven't, because we've seen it's been atrocious.
This is the best piece of marketing they've put out in fucking 12 months, mate. At least it gives you an explanation on what's going on.
They've done absolutely jack shit. So you should have been growing and expanding and being better. But then, you've still said in your own statement that you've got cards there that have been there for way too long in your vault.
Anyway,
what the hell were you grading? What were they grading, Doma? Well, they took 12 months to get mine back.
Yeah, well, true. Starting
at least
June
I got them back. At least I got them back.
Well, correct. It didn't get sent back to your Raw. Starting June 7th. This is the excerpt that everyone's seen. We put it out on our socials. Cardporn put it out. Everyone put it out. Cherry, everyone put it out today. Becca will suspend all grading submissions other than our premium level, like PSA did. All PSA. Orders that are submitted under the express, standard, and economy level will be returned to the customer ungraded. The reason behind this decision is to simply allow us to focus on the growing backlog we have had and to get as many cards back to customers as possible before the National. This is not ideal for anyone, but something our competition has done 4 months ago, 3 months ago. We now feel this is right. This is the right move for Beckett. Again, this is going to be temporary and something we believe will improve our availability for the remainder of 2021 and 2022. Beckett will strongly encourage and recommend all customers begin using the online submission form when submitting BGS or BAS orders. Using this platform will create a much more efficient order submission process. Confirmations, updates, and moving cards through the system will also be positively affected and shorten the timeline. It seems yesterday, blah, blah, all this spiel about,
they're making some improvements in that, but Doma, it's laughable. It's literally laughable at this point, what they're doing. They look.
Tell you what, Sauce. The funniest part about that, the reason why I went over that quote twice, no one's imitating your grading service because HGA, RCG, and CGS or CSG are not shit in the bed. They've got better customer service. They're getting their stuff out on time. What are you talking about?
Read this one, Doma, out from Adam on the comments.
From Adam, beats and breaks on Instagram. Beckett is so disconnected from reality and its customers. People just want transparency. Some of these cards are people's pride of their collection, and to have them sitting in limbo and not knowing.
Even if the last pick,
if they are even going to be graded, is problematic.
It is, Doma. It is.
Azerbaijan also says BGS is so far behind the race they actually think they're leading.
Yeah. We think, I know. That's what I mean. I think they genuinely think, I don't know what they think inside that headquarters. But I tell you what they've done today and their statement and how they've handled this whole scenario, how they've handled the whole last 14 months, let's be honest, deserves them to be in the nomination for the Lemon of the Year. So, for being a bunch of lemons, Beckett Grading Services.
Terrible.
Welcome to the nomination.
Now, I'm going to move on, and that is the lemon of the week. And now we're going to discuss this hobby talk-wise sauce. All right? And we're going to bring you back now, listeners. We're going to bring you back. A lot of people that we said this to, a lot of people that follow us, the Double Coverage family, you were in line with us. And you were like, yeah, you know what? That makes sense. A lot of other people in the family, which you're entitled to your opinion, said, nah, makes no sense. You were wrong. A lot of other people we told on Clubhouse, other platforms, no, you're wrong. But Sauce and I said months ago, when the backlogs were, we knew that they were really bad, PSA and BGS. And we said, do not send your cards to get graded with a massive backlog for the fear of, during the time span of a year of getting your card back, the player might get injured, or the value of that card or set will decrease in value if you're there to make investment. Like if you want it for your PC and that's fine, you don't plan on selling it, that's fine. But if you're ready for the pump and dump to get this guy back and in 9 months' time you think, it doesn't matter, you still be killing it. I'll sell it for $400-$500 anyway, more than what it is. And now you're losing money on the cards. I'm not here to say I told you so, but I'm going to say we told you so. But Sauce, I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but it just makes pure sense. If there's millions of cards in a backlog,
that's why I didn't send. That's why I didn't send. You seen the cards I sent to BGS, right?
Yeah.
All of those cards, like I sent the Dirks, they're timeless cards. You know, there's going to be
Curry Tiger,
two of those. Tiger, that's a timeless card. And then the other Mosaic Silver second year Luca, you know, it's just, at least it's a silver. It's a Luca. People are loving Luca, but I pulled that in a break. You know, I didn't go out there and spend $100 on the card. I think they were going for at the time raw, right? So I was like, you know, I'm going to grade it. But if you were, you know, sending a whole bunch of base prisms or you know, base stuff, or even numbered vet parallel stuff, you know, I'm seeing numbered vet parallel stuff that was, you know, from like Giannis and other guys that was doing pretty good numbers before, that's, you know, come down a lot. And if your plan was to send those there and you know, you've picked them all up for a couple bucks and then send them there, and you know, if it's like here from Australia, it's $50 a card. Right, so it's $50 a card to send to BGS. Sending to PSA, it was as low as $25 to $28 a card. But you know, depending on the grading time, and especially at the price you bought the card, you know, if you pulled them at well, just being salty, you know, a lot of people were still going to make up money on this stuff, Doma, right? I'm not going to say this because they bought these cards, got them cheap. But if you were like a person buying cards a bit later down the line in hope of grading them and then flipping them, like it sort of stuffed up your whole situation. Yeah. You've got cards that at one stage were selling for $600-$700. Imagine you were able to get cash in on that, but because of the backlog was so bad, you couldn't. But what would have been better? Wouldn't it have been better just to have that raw card? So, hey, I was going to sell this card anyway. I'll just sell it raw. Who cares? Right? Get the money and use the money for something else.
I feel, as much as whatever's happened, I still feel sorry for these people because they're in the hobby with us. I feel sorry for them. Like
we heard a story today. Someone sent a whole shitload of Tyler Hero cards last year. Obviously, his cards went nuts, and then they've fallen off a cliff. Right, it's literally, you know, everything that he sent's like down 70% from its peaks. Right
now, those are all coming back,
and those are all coming back now.
So, out of that thing, the best thing to do is talk to your group subber if you've sent cards to BGS. Yeah, if your cards have been lodged into their system, whether it was 6 months ago, 8 months ago, whatever, you're fine. They're going to grade your card and get it back to you. If they have not lodged your card in the system, it will be returned to you ungraded.
I'd be fucking pissed
what's
off.
going to happen. Now, I want to talk about a few other things, Source, that have transpired from this. All right, that we've had thoughts on, and it's definitely going to be the way of the future for grading. Now, there's definitely going to be a HGA type effect for these businesses in PSA and BGS when they're reopened in terms of capping submissions in certain levels. So they can meet the demand and they can maybe have a delay potentially, but it's a couple months, not half a year or a year. So there will be a cap. This is what we're predicting. There will be a cap because, Source, there has to be a cap. Because if we open PSA up tomorrow, there's that many people that have got Prism cards, Select cards from this year, rookies, that have not even seen grading light yet. Haven't seen a PSA light. Hasn't been under the microscope.
Heaps.
So you can go from getting rid of your
just
20,
Prism football, basketball,
everything.
Football, heaps of stuff.
Heaps. So that 20 million backlog of cards that they had will be eradicated, we hope, and it's gone and we're back to normal. But if we just open the doors like free willingly to everyone, what's to say the backlog isn't just back to normal in 2 months? And you've got to remember, like Ant said something on Crunch Time, Source, and I completely agree with him that the dip in the market, like you referred it to crypto as well, but the dip in the market also does translate to the door shutting at PSA. It definitely does. Because people's whole mindset was the greatest value I can get out of my investment comes from PSA. Without PSA being open and me not being able to send my cards there, I'm going to hold the bag till I have the opportunity to send it there. Yes.
People are saying it.
We did say Anth is in Anthony Collects. That is true, Anth. Good to see you're in here, bro. So, legit, like, it's a valid point. And it's going to be something that people are going to have to get used to. And
I mean, just listening to LTB, Cage saying, I've got boxes in my basement of cards and card savers that I'm waiting to send to PSA.
Yeah.
He's waiting to send. And how many other people are like that?
Exactly.
Right.
That have got
so
cards upon cards.
Imagine PSA goes, it's cleared. We are opening on this date. Everyone can send their cards in. Within the first week, they'll have 10 million cards in their system. They'll have 10 million cards rock up.
I agree. It'll be a container full of cards, mate. Legit. It'd be insane.
Right? So it just brings it back to the point of, are they going to do something to limit this, to control it, similar to HGA? Now, not the lottery system. Maybe they go down the road of pushing everyone to use group subbers, where each group subber is allocated a number of cards that he can, sub, and they restrict it that way, or what they do. But they can't just go, the doors are open, send your cards, because we've seen where that's got us before.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, they're going to increase their prices. The word is at no minimum than $50 a card. Some people are saying $99 a card. My opinion, I think when they open, there will be no under $100 US card for a bit. Yeah, and there will only be 500 under 500 range. But what that is priced at, we don't know. I think it's go on, Doma.
I reckon it'll be priced between $100 and $500 cards. I reckon they're going to completely banish like those junk base cards that people just send in to get graded.
Yeah, I understand that, but a lot of people.
This is good, Saw. It's positive for the hobby. It's positive. Like, I know we've been cynical in the last few weeks in terms of like bad things in the hobby, and this is not a good thing that BGS is like. No, it's a good thing for BGS, but it's not. The timing hasn't been great, and what they've done in terms of communication, how they've done it, has been poor. Yeah,
Lemon-like, as some would say.
Yeah, Lemon-like. But what they've done is correct. They need to do it, but they need to do it earlier. Like, you don't wait till your head competitor, is going to open up in a month's time. You know what I'm saying? Back to normal.
The smartest move for them would have been to shut down the same time as PSA and then try open up the same time as PSA so that,
if not earlier.
Or earlier. That's right. Yeah. That would have been the smart move.
There is positive signs in the hobby source. All right. I know a lot of people you're going to listen to this take and you're going to say, oh, Dom's got no idea. That's fine. That's your opinion. But I said it 6 months ago. So did Sauce. And you laughed at us. You're eating your words now. Yeah. So I don't really care. But we've got so many options to send those base cards to that have got value. I do think this will create a sector in the hobby now for these cards, whether it's RCG, CSG, or HGA, where it will create SGC, an investment opportunity for people for those low-end cards because it will be cheaper to grade them and you'll be able to flip them for an investment and make some profit on there. PSA wants to get rid of these cards. They're not worried about that. There's so many cards in a print run in existence. You go look at Prism and Select. There's that many variants that are worth over $100 that PSA can slab that is worthwhile in their time than to go slab a base card that's worth $15, like a LaMelo Ball base card that's, $30. Let's look at his Hoops card, for example. It sold for $200 because people are lemons and they got a lemon for that.
No,
but
now
it went down.
I picked up some for $10.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So $10. They're not going to want those cards coming through for $60 or $50 or even $100 to sub it when you're not going to get $100 back out of it. No one's paying that card to be $110 or $120. They'll be like, it's an $80 card. Yeah, PSA 10 could come back and could be $120, $115. So, you're going to spend all that time waiting for it to come back for $15, or you send it on a lower sub. If it gets a 10 there and then it's $100, you could make $60 to $70 profit on the card after grading, and it becomes more beneficial for an investor, a flipper. But it also becomes more beneficial for people in their PC. If you're a PSA guy and you don't care about spending the money and you're not strapped for cash, by all means, send your card there. Who cares what the card is? If it's a base, whatever, you get your card back and you're laughing. But
people just grade cards because they want them encapsulated and they want to keep it in their collection. They don't give a fuck. Obviously they want to get it and get 9s and 10s. But if it gets an 8 and it's for a collection or it gets a 7, they don't care. And they prefer to go with that grading company. And there's many people like that out there. But this is overall good, as you were saying.
It is good. It gives you options.
We've spoken about before how it gives you options to go to these other lower end grading companies. Now, I do believe I heard word that CSG, obviously they had their lowest costing to grade a sports card was like $10. I think they may have increased that because I think there was a lot of people that were like, damn, this is cheap. This is like PSA prices. Let me send it there. So I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to double check.
I'm looking down the barrel of the camera Source. All right. I'm sending a warning to CSG.
CSG.
I don't care if you raise your prices, but don't go from $10 and then in 12 months' time, you're pricing yourself at $40. I'm giving you the advice now. You will price yourself out of the sports card game. You cannot compete with PSA. You need to stay in that mid-tier market and dominate what is available to you. All right. These small guys, unless you get 5-10 years of consistency to then turn around and go, now we're going to challenge the big dog, you can't. The only guys at the moment, HGA is still small market, they're more niche. But the big guys that can challenge PSA are BGS, and they're doing jack
I've
shit.
got it up, Doma. I've got it up. If you send 50 plus cards on a bulk sub, it's $12 a card. Economy level is $20 a card. So economy level is supposed to be 61 days. Working days, that is. Bulk sub is 199 days, and that's $12 a card with a 50 card minimum. So standard standard is $30, which is 47 days. Express $60, 15 days, and walk through $125 and 5 days.
Now Adam put something in the comments, and now Adam, I was trying to be positive for 1 week. Don't worry, this stuff has also run through my brain too. The biggest negativity, like the most cynical thing that can come out of this is that no one gives a shit about any other grading company, and that Lonzo Ball or LaMelo Ball Hoops card that's worth $10, once it's graded, like you're saying, they can just dictate whatever the price is for a PSA 10 on that card, and then it makes the value of the grading justified. like the grading price justified. So sending a $10 card to get graded at $100, for example, they'll justify the price by the way that the market is created and literally set. Because as you know, we are the ones that set the market. We've got all the power in that. So, but that has crossed my mind and Sauce's mind also, and that is the thing that we don't want to happen. We honestly think, and we keep saying it, there is room in this hobby for everyone to eat.
And people out there, don't turn around if you're a PSA D rider. Don't turn around and go and shit on the other grading companies because you love PSA, because you were the same people out there who were drilling all these people for sending their base cards, sending their vet parallels and drilling them for sending all this shit, for creating a backlog, right? But then now, because there's actual grading companies that are coming to the plate to potentially take away some of that backlog and help out PSA in a sense, because they don't need any more money. They're flowing in cash, right? They're dominating the market, but it's going to help you as a collector or a PSA person who wants to send their cards there, that there's less cards getting sent there, and there's probably less of this low end stuff because PSA is going to up the prices. Doesn't make sense to send these base cards, but hey, it makes sense to send them at a 20-day sub to CSG, $20 sub, sorry, or a $12 bulk to CSG. Makes sense to maybe sub them to HGA on a $20 on a 60 days. You know, you get what you see what I'm saying, Doma? And there's room for everyone in this hobby. As I've said,
it's like make up your mind. What do you want?
There's room for these grading companies, right? Yeah. And look, I've seen it already. PSA dick riders shitting on the other grading companies and right? Whatever. Anyone can have their opinion, but you were the first people to shit on other people for creating backlog with their shitty base cards, right? So also don't shit on the other grading companies because they're actually helping you, the person who was complaining. And they're taking away some of the cards from PSA.
In all honesty, like SGC had the hiccup. We said that like last week. They had a hiccup, but since then they've been back on track because they got their prices back to normal and whatnot. But besides that little hiccup, those four in HGA, RCG, their slabs are a bit out there. Like as a collector, they're the bottom of the four. Yeah, RCG in our opinion, but still. People sending Jordans there to get slabbed, Fleer Jordan. So, but what I'm trying to say is those four have flourished.
Maybe they'll get some more reputation when they decide to come on our podcast and present themselves, and we find a bit more about them. And then people, potentially, you get what I'm saying? Give them a bit more trust. That's what I tried to, allow them to do. But they weren't ready. But we will.
That's okay. That's all right. We'll reach out to them.
Get in their DMs again and see if maybe this time they are. And
but they're flourishing, Sauce. These grading companies are doing such a great job during this lockdown period. You know what I mean? All I've seen in my face is RCG, CSG, SGC, and HGA in my face the whole time. That's all I've seen. Their marketing has been on point. It's been refreshing. It's been fantastic. And it makes me happy to be someone in the hobby to literally see other people, hobbyists. I hope you're listening, people in there that are ragging on these companies. They are hobbyists that are succeeding. They're doing fantastic work. So I know, Anthony, you're not convinced on them. I know, bro, but they're in there. You give them credit. They're trying something different, all right?
They're trying something different. And
I'm trying to say there's scope for everyone here, all right? There's scope for everyone.
All right, look, I honestly don't know how I feel about the camo slabs, to be honest. But as I said, we're not going to shit on them too early. We want to give them an opportunity to come on the pod. And I look, there's some cards that I've been looking at, Doma, in an SGC slab, and I'll tell you what, I'll look at the same card in a PSA slab and the same card in the BGS slab, and then I'll look at it in an SGC slab, and it just looks better. It just looks better. And the best part is it's like 30% cheaper as well. So winner for me, collector Kobe card, and it is the one that I'm about to give in the Smokey later in the show. So stay tuned, ladies and gents. And look for it in the SGC slab. Looks absolutely beautiful.
Anth actually makes a good point. You said CGC, which is obviously CSG is the branch off of CGC. That is a perfect option to send your Pokemon cards, your Marvel cards. Like, there's so much scope in this hobby. I can't stress this enough. There's that much opportunity. The people, hobbyists, and like we've been cynical on things in the hobby, but people that are cynical on the hobby in general and said there's no opportunity and there's no options for us. That's because you've only known PSA. That's all you've known. Yeah, I know. You got the. I know.
They got the goggles on, mate. They got the goggles on.
Yeah. That's legit what it is.
They got the goggles.
Anth is right. SGC do have the most potential for a base card bracket. I agree. They've got the reputation already cemented. And then HGA is probably behind them, or vice versa. In that, I said HGA would be number 2.
And
anyway.
People keep talking about it. The perception will change and the slabs will uptick. I read a comment somewhere, SGC needs to get their prices up, for me to consider, sending cards or something like that. Well, how do you expect SGC to do it? It's the market and the people and the perception in the market, the hobbyists, the flippers, the investors, whatever the hell you want to call it, in the market that put the prices on these slabs. Not SGC. They're doing their job. They're grading cards, right? It's the people's perception that SGC isn't as good of a grader as PSA. That's the perception that the market is telling us with the prices. But that's false. That is false. That is factually incorrect. They are just as good, if not the same or harsher grader than PSA. And I know someone for a fact that sent over 100 cards to SGC, got them back, struggled selling them because people were spastics and didn't want to buy the SGC cards, even though there's nothing wrong with them, just because they got them goggles on. And he sent them all to PSA, and a heap of them that were 10s with SGC came back 10s. A heap of them that were 9.5 came back 10s from PSA. So it's much the same, ladies and gents. It's what I try to tell people. Don't have goggles. If you just want to buy the card and it's in an SGC slab, right, and it's literally the price difference, but the quality of the card is pretty much identical, and the price difference is $500-$600, you're an idiot if you want it for your PC and you don't buy the SGC slab. You're actually a fool, right? You're just wasting money.
Don't be misled with a narrative that's just like, literally, if it ain't PSA, don't bring it my way. That's literally what it's like. And we've seen what life is like without PSA. There's a few things we can discuss in length. Maybe we'll put that on a lockdown lounge, and we've mentioned it heaps on Crunch Time about cheap slabs at the moment. And the market, as we said before, it could be in correlation with
might
PSA.
Do a little,
We've got a bit.
They might do a little sneaky lockdown lounge where we maybe just do a bit of an eBay search and go through some things that I like to search on eBay to pick up and look for certain things and slabs and opportunities. So it'll be an interesting one.
Adam makes some good points. I'll take that revolution grading question there that you said, Adam, or statement, and I'll actually present that to RCG if they come on the show, about the slabs draw the eye away from the card, which is busy, and it should be the main attention. Completely agree. Now, Adam, I'm not having a crack, but the whole thing is, if you're soft and you give in 10s, like PSA, as you said, like, I understand you get a shot at a 10, but 10 is for perfection, all right? But if you're soft on your 10s, that's how cards fall through the cracks, and then we get all these horror stories of, how did this get a 10? This is off-centered. This is bloody whatever it is. You know what I mean? Off-centered, or it's got a scratch on it. It's dinged here. The corners are actually not the best. The edging's not great. That's how those cards fall through if you're too lenient. Would you like 10s that are convoluted, or would you like 10s that are actually 10s? And in the end of the day, a source says you're paying for the card in the slab. I want the accurate reading on the card in the slab. And that's why we send our Pokemon cards to CGC. That's just me. The 10 thing's more, it's a personal thing, but also a flipping thing. Like,
Yeah.
do I want the true reflection of the card, or do I want just some peanut thing that is just, oh yeah, it's easy, yeah, here. And the whole thing of they've got stricter, it's a myth as well. It's a myth. Don't worry. We've interviewed someone who does PSA subs, and they said that the ratio of 10s is still exactly the same as what it's been. Exactly the same. Nothing's changed. It's all a myth. Complete myth. Anyway, let's move on, Sauce. But I understand where you're coming from, though, as well, Adam, because people do want the 10s and they want the money. So I can understand why they're sending it there. It does make sense. Let's move on, Sauce, to blockchain, boys. It is the last run of immaculate blockchain cards that we're about to see. And I'll tell you what, they didn't hold out. They did not hold out Panini this week because some of the cards on here are on fire.
Like, I'm going to have to click into a few of these. Click into a few of these.
Luca the Don.
Luca.
Sorry for the listeners. This is the blockchain that you get the physical card. Panini Immaculate Luca the Don. Auto 101. On card. There's also another lovely rookie patch auto on card of LaMelo Ball.
LaMelo Ball. Look at that bad boy.
That's nice card.
That is nice. Current bid at 57,000 with 2 days and 11 hours left. It's on the Dutch auction, so it's counting down. Next one, Doma. Not happy with this.
Patrick Mahomes boy. Patch sticker auto Sauce.
It's a 1 of 1. It's got 1 card to sign.
I don't want a Patrick Mahomes sticker. Anyway, then we got a Joe Adele from the LA Angels patch auto. Rookie patch auto, actually. But then the card Sauce has got up right now.
This is
nice. Ray Allen patch auto 101 on card. But the patch is a Seattle Supersonics patch. That is nice. That is so nice.
Do you reckon that could potentially be I don't think. Surely that can't be game worn.
I reckon it is.
Interesting, Doma. Next
they
up.
Do. Adam, LaMelo Ball's order looks like a dog's breakfast. It's true. It just looks like it's all over the shop. Next up, we've got a Chase Young RPA on card. Very nice. Then we've got a Alexei Pokusevsky RPA.
Let me look at this auto.
The big P.
I like it.
On the auto. And then the last one.
That's one of Cage's little sneaky plays for a rookie. I tell you what, he'd want to start getting in the gym and maybe eating a few bigger meals because the bloke's got skin and bones.
Yeah, that's all right, mate. He's got time. He's only his first year. And then last we've got from the Las Vegas Raiders, Henry Ruggs, RPA on card. So, Sauce, it's an awesome lineup of cards, but disappointing at the fact that all of them are on card except for Mahomes.
Yeah, I don't get it.
It's disappointing. Very disappointing.
I don't get it, though. I don't get it.
All right, Sauce, moving on. Just a quick shout out and a big update on the National Sports Collectors Convention. It is set to go ahead July 28th to August 1st. So fantastic stuff there. That all got sorted due to COVID, and that's going to go ahead. And that is the biggest show on the planet for cards. So, and other sporting memorabilia and collectibles. So we still got a bit to get through. We'll see if we can get through the Core Kings checklist. We're going to have a look at it. We might
have to kick that one to a lockdown lounge, I reckon, because that's interesting. Oh, it'll be cool. It's a big checklist. So
that's something. A bit of an update as well. Sauce and I are going to start looking into going through checklists of new products a lot deeper, delving into it, getting real into the hobby side, more immersed in the hobby in terms of just news. We're going to start breaking down stuff, giving our opinion on if it's chock full of too many parallels or not enough or just the right amount, and some of the cards that we can get in the checklist as well. So We'll see if we get around to that. But there has been an update, and I know Saucy is going to probably rant on this, and that is fine, and I can definitely understand why, because it makes sense. eBay, finally, Sauce, all right? If you're a card seller, you finally getting empowered on the platform. So, this is from eBay via a card porn post. Thank you very much. We're updating our bid retraction policy for sports trading cards, non-sports trading cards, and collectible card game auctions. Starting June 30, 2021, buyers will no longer have the ability to retract bids on trading card auctions without seller approval. Sellers' decisions to accept or reject auction bid retraction requests will be final. How the new auction bid retraction policy will work. Starting June 30, if you want to retract an auction bid, you will need to contact the seller via messaging on eBay and request a retraction. The seller, at their sole discretion, will be able to accept or decline your retraction request. If the seller does not accept your request, your bid can still win or lose the auction, and you will be required to make payment on any winning bid you submit. We also inform buyers on our bid retraction policy page that a bid is a binding contract. All right? I don't want to hear all these bullshit excuses of, oh, I've got to pay my gas bill, I've got to pay my electricity bill. What are you talking about, mate? Why are you bidding on the car, you peanut? As previously communicated, as of April 2021, if an item goes unpaid by the 5th calendar day, the seller may cancel the order due to non-payment. Regularly missing payments may impact your account. Check out our unpaid item policy to learn more. We appreciate
About time, Doma.
Blah, blah, blah. As always,
in the last 2 months, I've had 3 items unpaid for. There's one still sitting there with a guy. I haven't cancelled the order. I've literally he still owes me money. I haven't cancelled it. I've just left it there. Let's see how long I can go for. Let's wait for these new things to come in, then cancel the order so it impacts his account. What do you reckon?
It's just ridiculous. But they're finally empowering the seller source. Finally,
Doma. We know what an absolute shambles the eBay platform is. So many things go on there that's ridiculously shady. I hope the next one is that they don't allow people to put the bidding as private listing, and you can't see the bidder essentially. Well, you know that you can see their whole name, but you can see like the last bit of their name and their feedback score. I really do hope that would be next, that they would get rid of that, because that's something that really annoys me. When I'm seeing and it gets confirmed, I see listings like that and it gets bid on, and I'm watching the listing, and then when it gets relisted, I get a notification that it's been relisted, because many people, they just will relist the item because it didn't sell, but they'll relist it under the same listing they sold before, and all the people that were watching it get a notification that it's been relisted. So I've gotten so many notifications like that from listings that have that private bidding section. The bidding, it's all private, it says private bidder. It's just stupid. But credit where credit is due. This is something that's been needed for a while, Domo. We've seen what an absolute shambles the eBay platform has been when it comes to sports cards. It's part of the reason why I started moving and buying stuff if I want to flip it and sending it to Star Stock, because you sell it, you don't have to ship it, you get charged only 5%, and there's no backsies, there's no return policy. So once it's sold, it's sold. That's it. Anyone out there that wants to create an account, use Saucy Collectibles when you create your accounts. That way, if you deposit $10, you actually get a free $5. So type in Saucy Collectibles, the same as my username on IG. It's Saucy with an E. So SAUCEY Collectibles. And you'll get a free $5, and you also give me a free $5. So please use it, because then I can buy more cards on Star Stock.
The old Saucy Collectibles, eh? We use that old chestnut. Put that in the story, Sauce. Put it in the story. Get people out there. Get people to start using that platform. It is a great platform.
And I had someone today message me and say, I'm loving your tip to buy cards off eBay and send them directly from eBay to StarStock. Pretty much get the person in America, and he lives in Australia as well, to send it straight to StarStock and selling them on that platform. I'm loving that. And he's been doing it, and he's been making and flipping it and making profit. And that's what I love to see. Like, I love to see, because that's what I've been doing, and I've made profit. So, I mean, if I can do it and he can do it, why can't you do it? Right. So
Exactly right.
it's a little sneaky thing that I've been doing. I think it's such a play, and I love it that people can't return the cards and you get charged less fees. So shout out to StarStock, or maybe they can sponsor us as well as LTB, and maybe we can do something together with our mate Conrad down there. So
that'd be nice.
That would be good, wouldn't it?
That would be very nice to work with.
But
Sam. Yeah, 100% Lukey. Saucy never misses a beat when it comes to the plug. That's for sure. That's for sure. I don't know. Do we want to keep going, Sauce? We do still have Saucy Smokey. Actually, you know what we'll discuss, because we missed it last week. We will put it out there now and probably be about 10-minute discussion on selling cards for eBay comps. This is something you wanted to talk about for about 2 weeks now. People seeing the comp on eBay and just go, no. And just overpriced, underpriced. Give us your thoughts. Why did you want to discuss this?
I want to discuss it because, you know, for instance, right? Let's just take a look at if anyone's had a look at the Kobe Topps paper base market, the rookie, you have seen the prices. Go have a look at Card Ladder. It's pretty much back down to prices that I was telling people to buy it at back in December, and, you know, just sort of early Jan. And if, for instance, I bought that card and it went up as high as $1,000, you know, a PSA 8 went up, you know, you could have bought them for $200 and it went up high as $1,000. Now they're back down to $250, but because they're $1,000, I'm pricing that card at $700. And then when someone goes, well, there's comps, the last 3-4 have sold, they're $250 to $300. Would you take $300? Right? And I go, no, I'll take $550. I'll drop it to $550 from my $750. He goes, well, that doesn't make sense because the last 3 or 4 have sold for between $250 and $300. Yeah, but they were selling for $850 to nearly $1,000 just 3 months ago. How can you say that to people? And that's what people are pretty much saying when they don't want to sell you the card if it goes down. And it's annoying because they've got it up for sale. You've got it up for sale. You've overpriced it, clearly, because you don't want to, either you don't want to sell it or you want people to make offers. And when people make reasonable market offers, and this has happened to me, I've made a reasonable market offer on a card, and I actually offered I offered about $70 over the last 3 comps because I really wanted the card. And I've spoken about this. I believe in the card. I believe in the player. Paying a little bit extra to make sure you secure the card. The pop on the card was really low. So it was like, you know, a rare card. I want to get it. And they just didn't want to do the deal. And they've still got that card up today, this same seller. And it's still sitting there at $700 US. Nearly $800. $799, I think they've got it priced at. And there's been multiple sold at $350. Right? So it just frustrates me that people don't want to play ball. But hey, if that card went to 1,000 and someone offered you 800, you would take it straight away. But because the market's gone down on that stuff, and there's been auctions that have sold, you know, lower, and not just 1, 2, 3, 4, you're not willing to move back down the other way because that person's actually gone, you know what, this card isn't warranted to be at that price. I'm going to wait. Where's the reward for the people that show patience and don't buy at the top? You know, people are in this to, you know, collect, flip, up their game, up their investment. You know, I know many people out there that have gone, you know, turn around and be like, I'm going to put this much amount of money into cards. Now, I don't want to be going and withdrawing from my personal wage after I've allocated, say, $5,000, $10,000 to buy cards, and a portion of that to buy and flip and up my game so I can get better cards, that when there comes the opportunity that you're going to have to buy when the market's gone lower down, that people don't want to sell you the cards, but they've got them up for sale. If you don't want to sell it at the market price that's been showing, don't put it up for sale. Like, it doesn't make sense to me, right? And I've said, not just the market price. If it sells for 350, it's gospel. It must go 350. I've said, be reasonable. Oh, you look, I'm happy to sell it. The last three have gone for 350. If you'd be willing to go to 4, an extra 50 above the most recent comps, I'm good with it. Maybe that person like me will be like, yep, done. I'll take that card, right? If they don't, they don't. But that's their loss because, that card was, if you go have a look back at that card, maybe the history of that card, it was over $1,000 card. It's probably worth it to pay the extra $50. That's the way I look at it. But it been frustrating me, and
it could be even sourced that a significant amount of these people bought the card on a high and they've lost significant value in the card, so they're pissed off that obviously the last 3-4 sales, as you're saying, are at 250, and to try and mitigate some of their losses, they've got it at 800, and that's why they're like, oh, well, yeah, I'll take it for 550 or 600. And the person's still like, what are you talking about? Like you just said, it could be because they bought it so high, they've literally lost out on the card. So they're trying to mitigate their loss. Just imagine you bought the card for 600, 700 bucks, yeah? And you're like, oh, I'll try and sell it for $1,000. All right, it's not at 1,000. I'll try and sell it for 900, 800 bucks now. But if the comps are now down to 250, you know what I mean? Instead of it going to 550, and it's like, oh fuck, I've lost 250 bucks on the card. They've pretty much lost $600 on the card. So to try and mitigate their total loss, they're trying to price it in the midpoint where it's like, I'd rather lose 50% of my money than 150%. So that's another thing, is what they're trying to do as well. They're trying to dictate the market for their financial, loss, but gain at the same time.
Over leverage, and we've seen some. We've seen some of those. People. In Sasha T's Dulles video, there was one guy who was like, I bought this for $3,000, and Sasha's like, well, market is this on it. I'll give you $1,700, and the guy sold it to him and took a 1.3K loss, right? And it just makes you think like that. How many people out there are in the same position where they've over leveraged themselves on a card because you bought it at a market high. And now, if you bought that card at a market high and it's a PC card and it's a card you want on your PC, and you sort of shat the bed when shit started to hit the fan with, the vintage run, and you're like, shit, if I don't get it now, I'm not going to ever get it. And I've done that. I'm guilty of it. I've done it before. It's happened to me once before, and never again have I made that mistake. I bought a Kobe Topps paper rookie raw one for $500 US back when the first run up, and they were selling for $600-700 raw, right? And I bought it, and I didn't care because I just wanted to get one in my collection. But when it started to go down, I didn't crack the shits and go, shit, like I'm pissed off. I bought it, whatever. I bought more. I bought another one. I bought a BGS 8.5. I bought another one. So I just bought more of them because I was like, I still believed in the card. I still believed in, obviously, Kobe, legend of the game. And I just doubled down. And when the market went down, and that averaged out my cost into that particular card. And now I'm, I've still got the raw version that I bought for 500, but I sold the 8.5 that I've spoken about previously on a podcast. And, I'm in the positive, and I've got that other one that I'm probably going to, at some point, try get it into HGA, hopefully, to keep in my PC. Right? And I would like to get into a HGA slab. Whether I can ever get past the line, I don't bloody know. But, it is what it is. But,
definitely.
Yeah, I think it's just annoying because the people who were savvy, the people who were smart, the people who were, didn't panic, and, when shit started to rise too fast, they were like, yeah, I've seen this before. I'm just going to, get rid of, sell some cards like I did. And I didn't really buy much. I was buying like low end, Kobe. I was sticking to like Kobe's, and I was like, if I'm going to buy something in this higher market, it's going to be Kobe's. I was sticking to like low end, cool Kobe base cards, just to scratch the itch, as our friend Panther likes to say. Scratch the itch, the cardboard itch, something to pick up so you got a mail day. I don't know. It's nice getting a new card in the mail. It's a good feeling, Tomo. I like it. So
It is.
it's like it's and now as a person who waited and now is like, oh shit, here's my opportunity. Like, I didn't shit the bed. I didn't buy at the highs, and to not, see the reward at the other end because, you got people who have over leveraged or people who are just like either have the bank to hold that card and just keep it at that price, but they've got it up for sale. It's a bizarre practice. If you're not looking to sell it at the market price, don't list it. Right? If it's a very low card or low pop card and you can list it whatever you want, go for it. If you want people to make offers, then list it higher. And when people make offers, maybe actually respond to their offer with a rebuttal offer or something. But you've got the card for sale. Don't just ignore. And that's another thing that I've been seeing a lot. People, you make an offer on these cards that are selling for lower. People have got them listed at buy it now is obviously clearly way over market price, sometimes nearly 100% over market price. And they don't even rebuttal to your offer. They don't even make a counter offer. They just ignore you, right? It's just frustrating. I never not make a counter offer. I'll either straight just decline and be like, no, I don't want that, or I will, make a counter offer and try to get a deal done. But people just literally leave the offer there and don't even say anything. Like, are you selling the card or not? It becomes very frustrating. Especially when you're trying to secure a card that you believe in, and you're like, well, shit, I don't want to freaking, I don't want to pay $700 for a card that's selling for $350. Like, I waited, it came down from $850, now it's at $350. Like, this is the reason why I want to buy it, because I'm not buying it at $800. I don't believe in the card at $800. At $350, $400, yeah, I believe in the card because there's more upside because I'm buying it at a lower price point. So enough of this, Doma, but it's just something that it's just been frustrating me. I'm not the only one to speak about it. People in DM groups on IG have spoken about it, where they've been finding it frustrating. And also people at shows over in America. Obviously, we heard our friend from LTB Cage talk about it on one of his cardboard relevance on his IG page. And, and same with other people that went to the Dallas Card Show, where people having stuff in the case. A friend of ours, Rab Ripper Sports Cards, Jared, a good friend of mine in the hobby, saying when he went to Dallas and people pricing stuff in their case, and he offers them a price, and they go, no, well, it's not for sale. And he goes, well, why is it in the case? You know what I mean? If you're not looking to sell it, and then sell it at what comps, or at least close to comps, or maybe a little bit over. As he was happy to pay for the card. He wanted to pay $200 over the comps, but he couldn't because the guy didn't want to sell the card. But it was in the case for people on the table.
Put an NFS sticker on the card.
Yes, that's right.
Or
there's
label,
people that do that. They put it in there just to show off the card, and they literally put a piece of masking tape on it so it says NFS, not for sale.
Don't just put cards in there, and when people offer you money for the card, you go, well, it's not for sale, but it is for sale. Oh, for the right offer. What's the right offer? If the comp is
make
this,
an
like
offer.
Sauce is saying.
It goes like that.
Yeah, but
these people, it's just like running around in a circle with these people. It's frustrating.
Don't do it. As simple as that.
Yeah.
Just don't do it.
Yeah.
So, all right, Sauce. Let's move on. Adam, I will, before we get into Saucy Smokey, 1994 classic Mortal Kombat cards, he said. There are all the finisher cards and special move cards from the game in the set. I have brought that up on eBay. The art cards look really nice. The portrait pictures and landscape pictures of like Raiden. Who else we got here? Raiden, Shang Chu, Johnny Cage. I don't know the characters that well, but yeah, they got the finishing move card source. They're actually like from the game, like the video game, the original game, which is pretty cool. So nice shout. I like it. Thanks, ads. All right, so Saucy Smokey, what do you got?
Saucy Smokey. So I'm just trying to bring up the damn card. Oh, here we go. That's looks like a good listing. It's going to give us a nice view of it. Oh, there we go. Can we enlarge it? What's going on here? No, maybe not. I don't know, Doma. It's not enlarging. Wait, let's see if it. It just doesn't do it justice, mate. I want to get a good picture. It's a beautiful card. All right. Anyway, enough of my yabbering on. I'm going to share the screen, ladies and gents. And Saucy Smokey this week. Oh no! What have I done?
You screwed something up, ladies and gents. Are you using card ladder for this?
No, I'm not using card ladder because it's not. It's
I
not
was going to say they've done a few upgrades on the platform.
It's not on card ladder.
And Hoj, Josh, and Christina on the team over there at Card Ladder. Just a shout out to them. You're killing it.
All right,
doing some great stuff.
I've got it. Here we go. There it is. Right, ladies and gents. If you can see, I've got the 130 point up with the Kobe Bryant 1997 Metal Universe Metal Universe Planet. Metal. I don't know. This is what it's labeled here. It's the number 3. Now, there's other cards in that set. The card itself looks absolutely beautiful. Let's see if we can get a few of them up here. There it is there. He's walking on the ball. And this picture doesn't really do it justice. Let me see if I can get a listing up eBay.
Let's go. I like it. Metal Universe. Kobe Bryant.
Right. And the card itself has come down a lot in price. We'll have a look at this PWCC auction. We'll look at the card. There we go. That gives us a better look at it. But that's the card there. And maybe if you're not into that set, you can definitely go look for another player. There's some other ones out there.
I like it.
Different guys. But that's the card that I'm saying. Saucy Smokey. Here's the price points. You've got raw ones going for 200. Now people might think, shit, $200 for a raw one. But let's just roll back down here. They were going for $635 back in April. So that's 1/3 of the price, if you don't mind. It's pretty much back. I'm not going to say back to December prices, but a lot better than $600. You obviously had 8.5 BGS selling for $850, PSA 7 selling for $600. Here's a few prices. These are back in April, right? PSA 9 selling for $1,600. Now you come to today, you've got a raw one selling for $200, a SGC 7 selling for $300, a PSA 8 selling for $625 AUD. You got a PSA 9 selling for $1,100, so $500 cheaper than the $1,600 price tag back in April. So a little bit down. Here's another one. Here's one that's this is a bit bizarre. Like it's bizarre to see auctions that are like this, and this tends to think that I don't know whether this was shield or not, because people are buying it now for $200, and here you are buying one on auction for $500.
So good.
Yeah. So look, here you go. There's a perfect shield. There you go, ladies and gents out there. If you're not sure what shilling looks like, this is exactly what it looks like. $322. A guy with 0 feedback score bumps it up to $500, and some sucker gets stuck with the final bid at $510, who looks like a genuine buyer with 665 feedback. That's what, ladies and gents, if you don't know what shilling looks like, that is what shilling looks like right there. That right there.
We've got a podcast coming up where we're going to disregard everything in hobby talk and sit down and give you the 101. So yeah, we might do that next week.
Card 1997 Metal Universe Planet Metal. That's the official name. And go have a look. There might be another guy that you like, maybe a Ray Allen, maybe another guy in that set. I'm not exactly sure if he was in the Planet Metal set, maybe. But I know that Kobe's in it, and that's all that matters to me. So I think it's a good pickup. These rare, inserts. Obviously, you know how much the metal inserts mean in the hobby. They're some of the best in the game. So, yeah, I hope, ladies and gents, you like that
Sick
smoky.
card. Sick card, bro.
On that note, please go use Card Ladder's tool. If you've got the pro version, go look at Kobe Bryant's cards and put the 6-month graph on and just go have a look at what they were selling for sort of in November, December last year, and just have a look at what they're selling for now, especially some of the cards. And when you see that they're selling for about the same, it's telling me now is a good time to buy these Kobe cards. Because the prices I'm seeing, Doma, is some of the same prices that I was comfortable in telling people to buy these cards back then, 6 months ago. So I'm 100% comfortable telling you now that these are good cards to pick up. Like,
100%.
So yeah, I think anyone out there, if you haven't secured yourself a Kobe or you were looking to try get a Kobe, now is a good time to go have a look and pick something up, because stuff's come down to a point where I'm comfortable buying it. When the run-up went, I was sort of tapped out, and I was sort of, understood, and I've seen this before. Was sort of like, oh, here comes one of the runs. And now things are back ticked down to a reasonable level where I feel comfortable in picking up some PC pieces and adding a few more Kobe's to my collection, which is always good, which is why I like when the prices come down. And so should you, hobbyists and collectors, flippers, whatever the hell you do in this hobby, out there buying and selling. I don't know, right? But this is good. This is good because it allows you to bolster up your collection and add some cool PC cards that were way out of your price range probably just 2 months ago.
Definitely. There's opportunities everywhere at the moment. All facets of the hobby, there's opportunity. So it's just making the most of it, knowing what to look for. And as we always say, if you are struggling when you're doing your research, feel free to hit us up and just DM us, and we'll be happy to help you out. Or if we're not sure on the product, we will happily direct you to someone that does know the product and can help you out. So we like doing, helping each other out in the community. Well,
nice. Little mention now, I will say, Adam said in the comments, obviously, on that Kobe rookie, that the Iverson card looks very nice in that, and it does. And that one's probably cheap. Who knows? It's a second-year Iverson card. So if fan of AI, which I am, and it is a cheap card, I'm going to go have a look at the prices right now. I might even get one of those as an Iverson too.
Very nice.
I like the card.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Updates. We do have a special pod we need to drop at some stage. We just don't know when we're going to do it based on Lockdown Lounge dropping pretty much every day. So we've got to work out when we're going to do it. We might skip a Lockdown Lounge for one day and drop that pod instead.
Trying to bring content every day, which is something a bit different, isn't it, Doma?
It is different.
We've done before.
No, it's not, but it's good. We are in lockdown, so just spending that 30 minutes or so just sitting down, pumping something out, something to do with the hobby, cover a bit of sport is always good. And it gets, not for anything, when we go live, whether it's on this platform or Instagram, people always jumping on and asking questions. And not for anything, what we set out to talk about in the beginning, as you know, we like to veer into different territories and uncharted waters sometimes with some questions, and we love answering them. We'll do research live as we go if we have to. Also, Crunch Time is back this week. We'll be recording that tomorrow to air on Saturday. So the fellas are jumping back on. Big episode, I think, this week. There's a lot to get through and a lot of, I think, bagging to do of a good friend Anne. So it'll be very interesting to see Lukey's. Lukey's
fired up. Let me tell you, he's fired up.
He's fired up. So, all right, it's been another ep. It's been Dom and the Great Man Sauce. Keep living, loving, and breathing all sports, double coverage, and peace.
Peace out, ladies and gents. Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Talking all sports, double coverage.